Looking forward to a little bit warmer climate?
I'm definitely going to miss Minneapolis. I'm going to miss Minnesota, but it is great to be back in Los Angeles. A lot of childhood memories coming down here to visit my grandfather, my grandmother, cousins. So it is great to be back here in LA.
Do you feel like you still have a pretty big fan base from your Laker days?
I have a lot of great memories here from LA and obviously from the Lakers, but more than anything, I'm excited to be a Clipper now.
This is a team that has a lot of young guys and a lot of talent and potential. How do you see yourself fitting in? Is it more of a on-the-court thing or a locker room guy? Or?
Well, I've had a few talks with Coach Dunleavy about that, and I really feel that my role is going to be an energy guy when he needs it. Obviously, we have great players at every position, and so there are still times in a season when, for whatever reason, the energy of the game might be down, and just to be ready. If he calls on me to go in there and try to bring some energy.
Mark, what were your first thoughts as far as when you heard you'd be moved, and then it was LA that would be the destination? What was kind of going through your head?
To be honest with you, I was surprised to be traded, but at the same time, I was very, very excited to come not only to the city of LA, but to the Clippers. Obviously, I started out as a Laker. Now, towards the end of my career, I have the opportunity to be a Clipper. What I'm excited about most is our roster and our coach. You know, you look at from 1 to right now it's 13 on the Clippers roster. We're at least 2 deep at every position. I have a familiarity with Baron Davis, having played against him in college and in the pros. This is a great locker room. It's a lot of great players.
You talked about being brought in as energy guy from time to time, and that could be your role. Does that take, I guess, for lack of a better word, acceptance, knowing that you may not be playing daily, you may game to game?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously as a professional, my job, and I've learned this throughout my career, is to try to be ready every single game, to believe your name is going to be called, to believe that you're going to be going in there and playing, whether it's 5 minutes or, heaven forbid, an injury, you go in there, you play 30 minutes. And so that is a challenge for a player at my stage in his career to always be ready, knowing that some nights you might not see the action that you want.
This team underachieved with injuries and just never built chemistry last year. So how does it turn around this year? How do you get the most out of this roster?
That's the thing. Around the league, like on our team with the Timberwolves last year, we always looked at the Clippers and we knew that they were much better. With the injuries that we as the Clippers had last season, it's tough. Baron was out, Chris Kaman was out, Marcus Camby, who's the Defensive Player of the Year, was out. To have everyone back healthy is going to be exciting.
If the Clippers win the NBA championship next year, have you worked on your dancing from?
I'll actually need to get a professional dance consultant if that does happen. But I'm excited. I'm very excited to hopefully make a playoff push this year.
Are you ever surprised with how much mileage that's gotten? I mean, at the time, I'm sure it felt pretty innocent then.
Well, and the thing is my man Devin George was right next to me, and to me, his dance moves are no better than mine.
None.
So.
We're gonna have to pull up the YouTube and have a poll on that. Who's the worst dancer, Madsen or George?
Hey, I'll get Devin George on the phone in a few minutes, and we'll have a dance off.
All right.
What kind of sense have you gotten from how Sebastian and Craig feel about being out here?
Well, I think that anytime there's a trade, in general, it comes as a surprise. You know, the last 2 seasons of Minnesota hadn't been what we wanted, but in talking to Craig and Sebastian, I get the sense that they're excited. You know, this is a team. We are capable of going not only into the playoffs but deep into the playoffs, keeping everyone healthy and having the ball bounce our way.
Now, Mark, you've been described as a locker room guy, even in this conversation here, I think.
Yeah.
Well, what is a locker room guy? What do you bring to the locker room?
Yeah. I think back to when I came in as a rookie over to the Lakers. Rick Fox, he obviously had a big role on the court as well, but he was also a great locker room guy. Rick Fox was someone who really tried to mentor all of us younger players. He cared about all the young players. He took time. He explained things to us. And so when people talk about a chemistry guy in the locker room, I hope to obviously do a lot on the court, but I also hope to be a sounding board for the younger players on the team and try to help them in whatever way I can.
You surprised at all that it's already going to be 10 years in?
Time flies. Time does fly. And, you know, in the same way we're looking up here at this basketball facility, you know, to me it's a statement of Donald Sterling's commitment to creating a year in and year out team that can really be a playoff team, and so I'm excited about that.
So, Mark, what do you do with your championship rings? Where do they live?
Well, right now my championship rings are in an undisclosed location in Minnesota.
Safe deposit box.
I'll keep it undisclosed.
Okay. All right.
Have you had a chance to talk to the former Lakers since you've been here?
Not yet.
Fisher, Kobe, or anybody?
I'll talk to them, I'm sure, soon. I just barely got into town, and there's been a lot in the last couple of days. But it is, getting off the plane and coming back to LA, it is a wonderful place to be.